Hi all. Hope all of you are doing good, keeping safe. For me, yeah, going okay here. It's been some time. I have posted a video or even vlogged anything. Mainly a couple of reasons. One, lots of assignments and other things, exams and all. Second one, it was just my usual life here. I started logging mainly because to share the process that I was going through here. Right, like I have shared many videos on my travel experience here. The experience at ICBC for getting BCID card and other things. Then GIC, so many other videos. So right now, from the last 1 month or so, it's been just usual things. Going for work, studies, and then the usual thing. So there wasn't anything that I felt like I should share with you guys, and that's the main reason. I didn't vlog anything. But today I'm going for the knowledge test, which is the first step for getting the driver's license here. So yeah, so to start with that, you have to register now. I don't know, I'm not sure. Before, I think you could just walk in, but now you have to take an appointment, and it's not easy to get an appointment. I booked this slot around 1.5 months back, right? So yeah, I'm going for the exam. I'm not sure how it will be. I've prepared using ICBC app and a few other sites. So I'll explain all those things once I'm done with the exam, and if I get through the exam, I'll explain all those things, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Because I am not sure if all the preparations that I have made is good enough to get through the exam. So if I get through the exam, if I get a good percentage, then I can share that information here. So before I came here, so anyone who is traveling from India, so this is not a mandatory document for you to travel, but a good one to have in your checklist, which is your driving license extract, right? So I, before my travel, around 2 or 3 weeks before, I went to the RTO, an agent near to the RTO actually, and applied for the DL extract. So when I went there and told them, and I wasn't sure about the word extract. I was telling them like a transcript, and they couldn't understand what I was saying. So it took some time to explain what it is, and then they said extract. I think it is called extract, or maybe transcript. So you should if you have a DL at your home country, and if you are traveling here, you should try and get your DL extract. I'm not sure if showing your international license here will help. What I have heard is you should carry a DL extract to get that experience added here. What's the advantage, if you ask me, about having the DL extract or the experience being added here? I think that will, I haven't gone through that process, so I'm not sure. As and when I go through the process, I'll confirm that. But from what I have read and what I have heard, what happens is you can skip the class 7 license test here. So there are 3 things, from what I know as of now. First one will be the knowledge test, which is the learner's license. So once you pass this knowledge test, you will get an LDL, which is a learner's driving license. By the way, guys, where I'm walking through, this is TRU campus. I could have walked through the McGill Road, but then lots of noise there because of the vehicles passing by. It's usually very quiet here inside the campus, and through the campus I can reach till I don't know the exact place. Yep, some point towards the ICBC office. So the ICBC office is the one I'm going to is Concordia Way. That's the nearest one for me. Okay, so I was talking about the three types of license. First one is learner's license. So if I get through this, the knowledge test that I'm going for now, I will get a LDL, which is a learner's driving license. And before you attempt for the next step, which is your noise nice or something, NOICE it is, NDL, driver's license, you should have spent at least 1 year here in your with your LDL, with your learner's license. Once you have your learner's driving license, you can go for you can, go to a driving school, practice driving, etc. So that's a process. But if you have a DL extract, if you have prior experience of 2 years or more, then you don't have to go for the what you call NDL, the class 7. You can directly go for class 5. I'm talking about BC. Okay, it's a totally different, the terms are totally different in other provinces. Like in Ontario, I think it is G test or something. So here it is classes. The first one is like I said, LDL, knowledge test. Second one is playing here. I will make a tour of the campus sometime soon. Yeah, and then once you clear the NDL, or if you directly have the DL extract, then you get the knowledge test, which is the LDL, and after that you can directly go for class 5, which is the direct DL. So when you get a card, I'm not sure if they'll print a card and give you, or it is a paper, but it will be printed like LDL, NDL, DL, etc. Right, so what you're at the end of it, what you're looking for to drive a 4-wheeler 2-axle vehicle would be a DL. Okay, so that's it, guys. So just going for that. So one thing that you should carry before coming is the DL extract. And for booking an appointment with ICBC for the knowledge test, like I said, it's not easy, it's taking time. So I'm really hoping that I clear this exam, because otherwise I'll have to wait again for another couple of months. I'm not sure how it is right now, but when I checked 1.5 months before, it was not easy. There was no slots, right? So I had to book for April. So I hope I clear the exam today. You can go to the ICBC site and book an appointment. You don't have to pay anything, you don't have to upload any documents. You just have to select the date, book an appointment. They will send you a confirmation on the mail. And yesterday or day before I got a reminder. Today I got a reminder again. So they'll keep sending you reminders on the exam date and time. Now when you go for the exam, you have to carry a couple of ID cards. One can be your BC ID card. I have covered how to apply for a BC ID card in one of my previous videos. Yeah, you apply for BC ID card through ICBC only. If you don't have a BC ID card, it's not mandatory. You can carry your passport. I'm not sure if study permit is valid for this, but right now, like I said, only once I am done with the exam, once I go through the process there, I'll be able to explain this over. When I'm coming back, I'll cover all those topics, but for now I'm carrying everything. I'm carrying my BC ID card, I'm carrying my study permit, carrying TRU ID card, I am carrying, which is the UPass as well. Then I am carrying passport, bank statement from Scotia, my GIC account and other savings account, everything is with GIC. So why I am carrying a bank statement? Because it has the address of the place where I'm staying, and also the rental agreement. So I'm carrying all those things in case if they ask for something, right? So other than that, this morning, just to be sure on the documents, I called up a driving school here, Kami Driving Cabs KMI. I forgot the guy's name. Okay, so I spoke with him. He was very nice, and he explained me things. He said, carry your international license as well with you. They might ask that, as it seems. So I took that as well. And if I get through the knowledge test, the next step for me will be, I believe, taking classes to. I have good enough, driving experience, around 11 years of it. But then here, it is a left-hand side drive, which we are not used to. So a practice will help. And when you go for class 5 test, that will, you'll have to be really good. Especially here, people judge you on more than the driving skills, and then how careful you are on addressing the things that are the dangers, or pedestrian crossing, then shoulder checks. Shoulder check is very important, it seems here. So it is better to get a class to know all those things. And mainly, when you go for the class 5 test, you should have a vehicle for the road test. So if I register with one of the driving schools here, they will help me. They will give their card, and obviously you'll have to pay for that. I'm not sure what's the package, everything. I thought once I clear the knowledge test, I'll speak to them and get the details. By the way, what you're seeing here on the back side is the TRU exchange. So TRU exchange is, exchange is the usual bus stop that we call in India, right? So that's the thing. There you go. That's, again, I am walking through TRU. Okay, so I think I have covered most of it for now. Now I'm not wearing a mask at the moment, because as you see, hardly there is anyone here, and the number of the numbers are very low, by God's grace. I hope it keeps the same, and it in fact it goes down. Things get better. But all the other places you have to, like when you board a bus, or when you get into a shopping mall, or all those places, you have to wear a mask. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, so once I am done with the exam, then I'll cover more things. I'll share the exact experience that I had at the exam. So what I have heard right now is, you get around 50 questions, you have to get 80%. That is, I think 40 questions you have to answer correctly. Also, there are options to skip questions, the ones that you are doubtful about, so which is a good thing. So let's say if I get if I get a question which I'm not sure about, I can skip that. So what happens is that question gets moved to the last, and then the next question comes up. So as soon as you are done with, you answer 40 questions correctly, you are done with the exam. So that's what I have heard. So the skip is a blessing. So I hope it is the same what I have heard from other, we all learn from the YouTube videos, and going through other websites and other things, right? Yeah, so I hope it is what I have heard about. I'll share that experience, right? Hello. Finally done with the exam. Oh guys, I thought it will be very easy, but tough. Tough in the sense, I thought it will be just go there, click, practice exams are like that. If you go to any practice test, it will be like, I was scoring at around 96% or so. All the practice tests, like 95, 96, in that range. So I thought I'll just finish in say 30 minutes or so and come back, but took a lot of time. Yeah, so guys, I mean, I by God's grace I made it, I should say that, because I had only 2 more questions, and yeah, 2 more wrong, and then I should have been done, but by God's grace cleared it. Yeah, so I'll just share the experience how I have prepared first. I used ICBC test app. I'll share the icon or link or whatever in the description, so you can go through that. We do get a book from the ICBC center. I hardly opened it, yeah, to tell you the truth. I started so my final first sem exam ended 3 days back. That's when I started preparing for this DL knowledge test. So it's been 3 days of preparation, and it's not like continuous preparation as such. I just prepared for say hardly 1 or 2 hours a day. So it's been 3 days of preparation, hardly 6 hours or so. So the main source for me, the knowledge source was the ICBC app. So they have around 4 sections actually, 50 questions in each section, and so that way you cover around 200 questions. And then they have a marathon section there, which covers 200 questions, right? And then they have a real kind of a trial test. So I have attempted all those. Like I said, I've been getting around 90ish or so. So I was very confident. I did try some other sites as well, because I thought other sites might cover different questions. So I did try there, and I got 90 plus. Anyways, so I'll give all those links in the description so that you guys can also go through. But from my experience, don't just depend on the ICBC app or the other sites. You should go through the ICBC booklet as well. So that has, I think, around 9 chapters or so. So you just go through all the chapters. I didn't go through that. I mean, not that I was overconfident. I already had a lot to study at the university, and I thought just going through all these app and sites will cover most of the questions, but that was not the case, guys. In some of the questions I had to go with go with, I mean, I won't say guesswork, but the experience that I had, or how the situation will be hard to really, it was not by-hearted questions, so I had to do some judgments on the go there. Yeah, so preparation is, preparation part is so much. I just go through those apps, go through the books, do some good enough practice test, and that, you will be okay, I believe. I'm not I can't say confidently because my percentage is 83. Once you pass the exam, the percentages doesn't matter. You have to just pass the exam, that's it. But I was very confident. I thought I'll get to tell you guys, when I the first question that went wrong, I was really depressed, thinking that now I won't get 100%, because I was aiming for 100%. But then as I went along, more and more questions got wrong, and I was really tense, like if I'll make it. But like I said, yeah, by God's grace cleared it. So the experience at the center, preparation is that much okay. For me, it was just 3 days of preparation, hardly 6 hours or 7 hours, mainly going through the ICBC app and some other sites, just the test questions, no reading and all. Okay, at the center, I had an appointment at 3:30 today. I reached there at around 2:45. I didn't have to wait outside. They called me in, and waited inside the office for 5 minutes, and then I went to one of the persons there, and they asked me for my study permit. If you are a student, you have to give your study permit, so make sure you're carrying that. and then you have to, I mean, if you are a PR holder, you have to give your PR card. Then you have to give one more ID proof. They ask for a passport, so I had that, so I gave that. So I gave my study permit and the passport, and then they asked for the driver's license, international driver's license. So I mean, I mentioned about the DL extract. They didn't really ask for that, but giving the DL extract will give some clarity on the duration, etc. Maybe I gave my DL extract to her, but she mainly asked for the DL license, the international license. And before I even took the knowledge test, she put a sticker on the backside of my DL and wrote a number. She said I can drive here using that license. And the fees for the knowledge test is $15, right? 15. That's it. And then yeah, so I was expecting some closed room with computers and all those things, but it was a kiosk. You are standing there and giving the exam. It's a touch screen, so the questions will come on the screen, and then you are just pressing the options, selecting the options and confirming it by saying yes or no. So that's how it is done. There is no time limit. Yeah, you can take the exam aram se. I mean, like, you can be relaxed and take the exam as long, I mean, you can stand there as long as you want. Before going for the exam, I did see some people standing there for quite some time, and I thought, why are these guys spending so much time? I only realized when I went for the exam, because it was not that easy and not that straightforward, I should say, as I was expecting. Okay, so once you hand over these documents, they will allocate a kiosk for you. You can go to the kiosk, and yeah, before going to the kiosk, they will take a photo of you. But in my case, since I applied for the BC ID card, I didn't have to go for the photo. So I directly went to the kiosk and started the exam. So you can start the exam by pressing start there. And yeah, questions will directly start coming, and then you have to select an option and then confirm it by saying, let's say a question comes, it will have 4 options, A, B, C, D. You select an option. So let's say I selected A, and then it will ask to confirm yes or no. So you have to select yes. If it is correct, it will show at the bottom that how many questions have been correct so far, how many questions wrong. So in the top corner, it says like 11 wrong and you fail, right? And in the bottom left side corner, it will show you how many correct answers you have you are given, and and it will also show you the number of wrong questions that you are attempting at the bottom, just next to the correct answers that you are giving. What else, guys? Yeah, so you just stand there, give all the answers, and yeah, the main thing there is you have an skip option. So let's say you get a question and you're not sure about the answer for that question, so you have a skip option there. You can skip that question. So with me, what happened is, I mean, for the first 10 questions at least, couple of questions I was not sure, so I did skip. So I thought, like, oh, it is really easy, because the questions that you are not sure of, you can just skip, and some other question will pop up. But what happens is, as you go along, you only have 50 dedicated questions, right? The questions that you have skipped will reappear some time of the exam, and the questions that you are skipping, you will only have 2 or 3 chances, I believe. So once you have skipped a question twice, you don't have a skip option won't be there. That's when I really got tensed, because I skipped at least 5 or 6 questions, and those questions came up at the end, and there was no skip option anymore. So, and my the questions that I did wrong, the numbers went around 6 or 7, so I had only 3 or 4 chances left. So that's when I really got tensed, and I don't know I should cry or I should smile, or because I was really confident, and the on the other side, when I look, I have around 36 questions correct, right? So just 4 more to go, out of 8 or so. And I was thinking, oh god, I mean, just 4 more questions. If I won't make it, I have to come back again, getting an appointment. I started thinking about all those things standing there actually. The questions that I was not sure about, I mean, you obviously skip questions when you're not sure about it, right? So the questions that I was not sure about, there was no skip option anymore, so I had to attempt it. So that is when I started thinking about the questions, like what is mentioned there, what happens in such a scenario. I mean, those questions were really scenario based. It was not like the signals that you see behind me. It was not like that. It was some scenario based. So I had to really put some thought on it, and by God's grace, I mean, whatever I selected was correct. So at the 48th question or something, which was, I mean, I had just 2 or 3 questions left, and 48th question or something, when I answered, it popped up saying that you have answered 40 questions correctly. That means you don't have to attempt all the 50 questions. At the moment you answer the 40th question correctly, your exam will end, and it will say like you have passed the exam and this is your score. And so my percentage was, like I said, 83. If you ask me, happy. I mean, I passed the exam. That's all it matters. But then if you don't pass the exam, then you have to reattempt it. For reattempt, like I said, they are not entertaining walk-ins at the moment, and there are no slots available in the near future. I mean, at least for a month. The next slot available, I think, is for June or July or something. So make sure when you go for the exam, prepare well. And I took it casually, but I would advise prepare well, go through multiple sites, and mainly use the booklet they give. So how to collect the booklet, you can, I think there is a online version available, a PDF version available in their site. You can download that, or you can get a hard copy. You just have to go to their office. You don't have to take any appointment to get the book, and they will hand over the book. There is no fees for the book. Hope you can see this. This is the book I'm talking about, right? It has around 9 chapters or so. Yeah, so I'm relieved. I don't have to attempt it again. So once you are done with the exam, just stand near to your kiosk, and they will come and call you. So she congratulated me, and then you have to take a vision test. So they'll give you some wipes. Now, because of the COVID situation, you have to wipe that machine. You have to keep your eyes close to that machine, and there will be different numbers and colors, some signs, and all those things. So she will just ask you to tell what you're seeing there, and you have to just follow her orders. I mean, whatever the person is asking you, just follow whatever she's asking, and then tell the things. That's it. So once the vision test is done, I think that's it. Once the vision test is done, I just went to the counter. She gave me a slip. I think this is the slip. If you can read it. Yeah, so they will, once you're done, go to the counter, and then they will give a slip saying that get ready for your road test. That's it. So again, you have to visit the ICBC site and book your slot for the road test, and you can go for it. But meanwhile, you can practice. So after my test, I came out and directly called Akshay from the Kami Cabs, KAMI. Okay, and he doesn't have any slots available till end of May, so I'll have to wait till then, or maybe I'll book something else. We'll see. But he has been really friendly and helpful. If I haven't spoke to him this morning, I wouldn't have carried the license with me, the international DL. Luckily, I got to talk to him this morning, and he advised me to carry that, which was good. I mean, that's the first thing they asked me actually, and they did put a sticker, like I said, in the back side of the DL. So it is very important to carry if you have a DL. So next step for me is to go for practice. I will share the details about the driving classes. I know driving, so but I have to get used to the signs and signals, and you drive on the other side when compared to our home, right? So I have to get used to all those things, and I think I should be good. So maybe I'll target, now it's end of April, maybe end of May, to give the road test, and hopefully I should have the class 5 license by end of May or in June. Let's see. I'll keep updating you as and when I go for the driving classes, and any other progress that I make towards getting the class 5 license, right? Okay, then that's it. So now if you ask me if you have to carry DL extract, my answer would be no. But to be on safer side, if you have time, and it hardly takes an hour or so for you to go to the RTO, apply for it, and in a couple of days you will get the DL extract. So on the safer side, if you want, you can carry that. Otherwise, I think your DL itself, the international license that you have itself, is good enough, because they didn't ask me for the DL extract at all. I just gave to them, and they just read through it and gave me back. They use the DL license actually to they entered the DL number into their system and other things. So you don't have to really carry a DL extract, is what I understood from my experience. But in many of the logs I have seen people asking to carry the extract. I don't know if that is useful when you go for a road test, but I don't think so, because the use of the license is already done, because they used it. I mean, they saw it, they counted the experience, they told me that you can use that license to drive here. So that's already done, I believe. So I'm not sure if you don't, I mean, I don't think you have to carry the DL extra, but like I said, if you have time, do get it. That's it, guys. I will be making, so some of you have asked me to make a video on MBA here in TRU. Not sure what exactly you are looking or expecting out of that video, but I will make a video in a couple of days sharing my experience so far, the experience that I had throughout the first semester. I'll be making a video on that. Yeah. And I hope you like this video. I hope this video was informative for you guys, right? Please do subscribe if you liked it. Please do share with your friends. I have hit the 150 subscribers mark, but I mean, I didn't start this channel for remuneration or something, but it is good to see you guys are liking it. More than the subscribers, I mean, when I see the number of views in each video, I mean, that's what excites me. I mean, I feel like it is proving to be useful for you guys. I mean, that's, like I said, that's why I started this. I will try to cover more and more things, right? I'll be writing a IELTS exam. I mean, slots are not available right now when I'm studying. You guys might think why I am writing IELTS. I mean, just to, as you have seen, now the numbers, the express entry score has gone down to 417. Many things are happening, so it's better to be ready. Whenever a situation comes, that fits your profile to apply for a PR, you have to be ready. So I'm thinking of writing the IELTS. I think the next slot is available only in September, so I will make booking for that. Okay, guys, I mean, some of you might have been planning to travel here, but could have got stuck because of the lockdown, other things. I hope you, but yeah, traveling is not important. You can continue your online classes even at home, at the luxury of your home, I believe I should say. So just be there, be safe, and travel only when it is safe. I mean, why to take hurry, right? I mean, why to be in a hurry? You do online classes, it's not going to impact your PGWP. So as long as PGWP is not impacted, you don't have to worry, right? And obviously, yeah, you will miss the experience here, but it's better to be home rather than being alone here. I am having a good time, guys. I mean, I don't have by God's grace, I got a job as soon as I landed. As soon as my quarantine period was over, I got a job. So yeah, and the guys there at the hotel are really good. The management is good, so I'm having a good time here. Keep in your prayers. A long way to go. Second semester starts next week. I'll explain everything in the video that I make for on the MBA course, on my final exams for the first semester, how it went, and all those things I'll cover. Okay, chalo then, take care, bye. Do hit that subscribe button and the like button. Take care, bye.